even to take his title, but to come close. And now, well, the stats say it all. 5-3 is the historical score. As Fnatic open up here and look to claim a 6th.
Yeah, well, 0-3 for FPX on this map over the last couple of months. It is not the greatest place to try and take this one. Wow. Durka showing why he is an absolute demon to kick things off, but Angel actually manages to trade that out fairly well.
No further aggression to come through. You can see the attempt with the Headhunter, but that wall's going to slow them down on the A site completely as FPX stall out and hold their angles, waiting for Fnatic to make their next move. It seems to be Boaster trying to sneak in through middle and catch a little bit of a backstab on some of these players, very much still based around this A play. And Boaster's got to stay alive to keep that wall activated for the team as they cross the site and look to deal with Xiao all by himself. You see that coming down right about now. This is the last pulse. The Toxins coming through as they look to burst their way onto the site.
Boaster's luck is fantastic. It's just free. So easy for him to get that kill. It just seemed like the timing couldn't have worked out any better. And now you're looking at the retake being attempted. Artis is very far away as well. It's still just about making that rotation through. And Cider, he should be ready to check this, but he isn't going to win that battle either.
Very nicely handled. You see the plan, and well, really no road bumps for them in the execution of it. Everything went exactly as they'd hoped for, and now Artis has to be the man to make a change. 6 bullets in that Headhunter, and 4 targets to find. None of them really tagged up to make this that much easier, and now he's been spotted. Time against him. And absolutely no chance. At least he saved most of those Headhunter bullets for the next round, where they'll hope to do some damage.
Yeah, a little bit of a silver lining, of course, for FPX. From what we're hearing, hopefully the full roster will be back for the next one, which might make for a very exciting conclusion to this tournament for FPX. But the fact is, in this matchup, they already came in as a team trying to prove they can beat Fnatic. Like, but before anything went wrong, they were already an underdog in this match. So we're definitely going to have to focus on players like Althea. We know, as said, Durka are absolute demon on LAN. Like, everything you've seen online, like be it the, I think, #2 in ACS, bear in mind the #1 was Althea. I think he's up there with ADR, kills per round, first kills, pretty much any stat you can name. He's up there with it, damn. I know it's only an eco, but just farming up towards that tour de force, Mitch.
That's the crisp shots. You got to write home about them. I like that Angel still went for that orb, even though he got slowed down and challenged. They were looking to heavy fight with the pistols, but no success so far. And like I said, the idea here being that FPX don't stand that much of a chance in the fights, but they wanted to do damage, and they've gotten 2 kills already. Sure, they're not likely to win this even still, but
how is Xiao getting
they just
killed?
Keep on finding these frags. That's a disaster. Fnatic have paid a heavy cost for this, and Althea survived on 5 HP. There was a chance that they lose this round, but even what they got out with isn't really that much of a victory.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of overconfidence versus the pistols, because, yeah, coming out of 3 kills, it's not great. I do think it's Althea as well. We know where Champions is going to be already, of course, and if he manages to make it there, which Fnatic are not in a bad spot, it definitely seems like a 3-horse race with Guild, especially now being in that lower bracket. These are the 2 teams that lead the way, but you know, things can change within a tournament. Lower bracket runs have happened many a time. But him making it to Turkey would be huge.
They were trying to stop anybody getting aggressive on the rope, but it's down below that FPX are pushing up. Artis already coming around the corner of bottom nest, and he's able to grab one in the chaos. Zipan manages to take Althea as well and put them into a huge position. Fnatic, they don't really have much to recover on these, that Headhunter being one of the tools they have at their disposal, and it only gets the one before being traded out. Altogether, a very clean follow-up by FPX. They've given them practically nothing.
Yeah, 1 player down. I like the compositional change as well coming out of FPX, because again, when you're playing with a stand-in, I feel like there's already going to be holes within your comp. I think giving Zipan the chance to explode onto the map. Like, I still think it was a Reyna, but I still think one of the highest ACS we ever had in EMEA was him getting over, I think it was like 528 ACS on Reyna. So giving him the agent where I feel like he is the most comfortable and can be the most aggressive, it gives them more of a chance of winning a map that ultimately playing their old comp with a weakened player, well, they couldn't do it with Saigetsu, so why would they be able to do it with Cider?
That's exactly it, right? Oh, okay, little reveal attempt. And it does not deter Artis. Even after the initial plan doesn't work, he says, I'll stick around and just see if I can grab one. And that he does. Mystic down. playing this map without a Sage Wall is pretty tough. Losing that right at the start of your buy round when your money's on the line, it's not what Fnatic wanted to see here. They need someone to pull this back and deal a blow to FPX in turn.
Yeah, if there was anyone to do it, probably would be Durka with the tour de force, but not going to be connecting. Ground held, at least for now, by the side of FPX. But Lurk of Alfia are also not going to be really gifted anything thus far in the attacking side, and just trying to slow things down a little bit. But the rotation's starting to come through from FPX. 3 players already, a 4th player in Zipan, and it's because of the aggressive position that's currently being held by Artis. They might have this stacked up.
They're leaving themselves the opening to go back here on Fnatic, though. The fact that Alfier isn't moving, and now we're starting to see Boaster come back to middle. It's all about how this space goes. If they decide to take it straight through the tube, underneath, or attempt to wrap around through the A side. But with 20 seconds left, there's no choice anymore. B is the only option. And they're even splitting up. They've got to win some of these duels, and Zipan's already seeming to put a stop to this plan. Back yellow not cleared. It's hard to imagine a plant even comes down. The rotations are in play, and they still haven't even spotted Cider. So that round is going to be tied up neatly in a bow for FPX.
Yeah, I'm liking the start of these rounds coming out from FPX. As I said, like, they've switched up to a composition which allows them to be more aggressive. Like, normally Zipan was playing the likes of a Sova, so you wouldn't have seen him play some of the most more forward spots. But starting things off with these sort of aggressive picks, that you have to bear in mind, a lot of the time on this map in particular, you're going to see Fnatic getting those first kills. If you could deny that, slow the pace down, the adaptation wasn't really there in that round. They were hoping for the picks, and FPX were happy to play patient and wait and just work that 5v4.
That's exactly it, showing that patient face very early on the defense. I wonder what Fnatic are going to do this time around with so little to work with. Durka coming in, a Guardian in his hands.
Bring them down.
Be able to drop that to his teammates, of course, if he goes down. Obviously the benefit of having the headhunters, the cost, but you don't want to leave your teammates with just those shares.
I do like that he's got all the headhunter bullets and he's playing the Guardian. It just shows the reliance they have on this man to find entries. That's just like, it's better him having 2 guns and me having 0.
So there you go. Durka goes down. Now you've got that weapon to be recovered as they push back through. It's made its way into Enzo's hands, but as of yet, not even finding the chance to fire a shot. Numbers are being thinned out. Another to fall. This leaves the spike in the open, and Enzo's being spotted now in the corner. The nade hunting him down, and Zipan's bullets, the one to execute him.
They're already looking. Look at where Xiao's crosshair placement right now. He's already watching. Cider starting to close us in. They're so ready for whatever Boaster is attempting. He's tried this in a couple of rounds now, and a Prime Gaming Flawless out from FPX. Their economy is looking pretty damn good at the moment, Mitch, and 3 rounds already on the defense. Not bad.
Yeah, I think you just see them be hyper vigilant about not giving away those picks. A lot of this early play has been Durka out looking to try and grab somebody, and they haven't been able to find those. FPX's patience not leading into any overextensions, into any silly pushes. And so for Fnatic, I feel like they almost come in here hoping that in these couple of rounds that they'll see those mistakes, that FPX won't be refined, won't be polished, but that's not what they're seeing. Now I expect we'll see some changes, certainly with this timeout called. It is the right moment for Fnatic to reflect and change things up.
One other thing to mention at the moment, Artis obviously off to a flying start. I feel like maybe some of the opposition he hasn't played isn't up to the exact strength of a team like Fnatic, but in comparison to, say, even just his seasonal stats, number 2 in ADR in this tournament so far, number 2 in ACS in this tournament so far, 4th in KD, which considering how aggressive you're going to be on the likes of a Chamber, really not bad, number 1 in kills per round. So the fact that he's off to a flying start is a very, very good sign within this map. But also Xiao. I feel like Xiao has... Actually, I know that Xiao has won the most clutches in this tournament thus far. It's 8 out of 25. I think the only person who beat him percentage-wise at the beginning of the day was actually Safe. So, which, I'll be honest, that was the one that surprised me more.
Yeah, maybe. But look, when you go back to that game that we saw... Even just the other day, like, Xiao's clutches have not been easy clutches. They've not been oh yeah, he's in a couple 1v2s and he's doing pretty well. It's like 1v4s against some of the best teams, and this guy's pulling out just utterly unbelievable shot after shot. Definitely a player we'll be keeping an eye on throughout this series, and I'm sure we'll see lots from him. Already, Durka's been spotted to start this round off, trying to get aggressive on B. The surprise factor certainly not there in Cider, but he's jump spotting away, but Artis has the bait. It's the whole idea. They'll see Cider, they'll think that they're free, and then Artis can grab at least one off the side angle.
He's been everywhere so far.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we've most rounds seen him pushing on A. You can see how passive they're being on the A side of the map, just wary of where Artis can be, and then now trying to set him up in position to find the kill, and there's Durka again. He's had so many impactful openers so far. And while there is the res online for Mystic if they can get him back into position, but Artis hasn't left.
Oh, so cheeky. The second the snake bites fired, Cider's peeking. Knowing he can catch maybe someone with the weapon out, or one less player staring at him. Artis on another. Spike dropped. And this round seems to be done. 4 ultis in play for FPX, and they haven't had to use a single one. Barely breaking a sweat until Enzo steps up. It's more than enough players to take him down. Tom, the scary thing in looking at how that round unfolded, Fnatic almost like walking through a minefield in that early map control. They're so worried about every angle that FPX can be on, and that's exactly why.
Well, this is normally why you have the drone go through this position, just so that something like that can't happen. But because of the aggression on A every single round, they've probably utilized it elsewhere. It just didn't really get put into position, and that is now, what, 3rd, 4th round in a row where Artis has been able to get an early pick, get out of there. And even though he's being used as bait in a lot of these positions, Cider's them reacting off of it. Team play from, as said, the stand-in of the squad, it's looking really good from FPX so far.
It absolutely is, performing well and above what we expected from them starting things out, but it is still early days. This defense got a weak buy up against them, but still some facets to it that are strong. Durka dealt with right away. Artis has been convincingly winning those duels. But the weapon comes around the corner to trade. A tag dealt by the Marshal. And now we kind of end up in more even territory. This is not as clean from FPX to start with, and with the numbers even as they are, and the info of players around mid, you definitely want to get a little bit more information. That ult should get it for them.
Yeah, I guess they assumed they were a lot further up. Instead, they're actually going to utilize the res, bring another back. Boaster will trade at least onto Cider, which gives them some space, but the spike's down. And defending this is going to be impossible. They are ready for every single lurk that has been made so far in this game. I think the only round where Boaster managed anything was in the pistol.
Little recon bounce drew the crosshair for a second. Gave Boaster the advantage he needed to take Angel down, but they're still way behind. So great pivots by FPX, great awareness. They've lost the spike now. Xiao looks to retake that control. He's gone down. 17 and 25 HP, Tom. And the position of Artis, it's near perfect. Does the drone clear him? Not in time. He's around the back of yellow. He's seen one. There's the second. It's clean as can be. Artis with another impeccable round.
They've got to start getting frustrated now. I don't think there's been a round so far in this game where Artis hasn't caught a kill by being in a position that Fnatic haven't expected. He has been an absolute menace thus far in this half. 10 and 3 at the top of the board. And most importantly, I feel like he's been completely chamber diffing Durka, which if you'd asked me that at the beginning of this game, I would have called you crazy. I think we even spoke about it at the beginning of the tournament. The players that we were looking at, we're looking at Ye, we're looking at Durka. I think Buzz was the 3rd one, and you have Artis asking the questions like, guys, I don't even make the list. I'm not even in the list. Well, he's making a case.
That he is. That he is. You know, I spoke to him before the game, and he did ask me who I thought would win. I did say, you know, hey, if you had 5. You'd have the discussion, but man, I mean,
if you had 5,
any team
still
with a
probably would have
stand-in.
said Fnatic. But
Yeah, I still would have, but you know, and he wasn't too happy with that. But you know,
so
he's
if Fnatic lose, it's your fault.
Why have I said
You
that
angered
to you,
the
actually?
beast.
Yeah.
You have angered the beast. Well, either way, lockdown in position. Cider's actually sticking around to try and fight this one. If he gets another one here, okay, more than enough damage done. 2 kills. Lockdown hasn't really even given them the space. C's thrown over, and he's dropped Mystic as well. That's a bigger problem. They now have to put in that Viper's Pit just to get the plant.
That's exactly it. Yeah, that Viper's Pit not giving them the same security. Nade's already pushed them off the plant. But Boaster's managed to sneak his way under the site. Still, you got to be able to hold on to this control once they go for the plant, and the sprays can even come through. Zip and blast packing. That's going to cancel it to start with another through. That could be the kill.
30 seconds left.
He's letting it wait out for just a moment. Now spraying and taking Enzo. And although Boaster finds another, the 1v3 is going to be difficult, dropping the wall, but Artis is ready, of course. 6-2. And FPX coming out with a point to prove.
Oh, that was so good from Zipan, but it's actually side again. I feel like a broken record, but how many times now have FPX made a play which Fnatic aren't expecting? They're not reading into these risks that are being taken, because it is a risk. If he doesn't find anyone on the other side here, he's just stuck in a lockdown and instantly dead. But getting rid of both Althea and Mystic with a slightly more aggressive position, then you have Zipan just being a little bit cheeky with the blast packs. And right now, well, 6 rounds in a row for FPX on the defensive side. The only rounds Fnatic have taken are pistol and second.
That's exactly what you need as well, throwing those little curveballs in. You know, oh, okay. Throwing in a nade to Zipan to catch Althea right away. This is a round where Fnatic aren't really coming in with anything. You know, they're trying to make their pistols work early on, but I didn't quite expect the nade to be the thing to open it. It's nice and easy, thinning out the herd. And this time around, it's Mystic, Guardian in hand, Durka rocking the Headhunter, and Sheriffs all around. Good chances, some decent damage. But in fights where they don't have the numbers advantage, it is very much going to be that tickling up a player and then going down most of the time.
A wall already being spammed. Zipan is going to get tagged by the drone. The spike not even getting close to making it to the site. They're hoping that maybe they can find a pick along the way. I think the timing's gone completely wrong, but a nice shot from Mystic. Trying to get a second, but it won't be happening. And now Enzo, last man standing. He won't even get the chance to pull out his weapon. 7 on the board now for FPX, 4 alive. Economy about as good as it can be, really. And well, if there's not a response here from Fnatic, I think this half is already over.
A very surprising thing. You know, we heard it from the analyst desk, and I very much echoed what they were saying. Having this IceBox in, like, sure, you're going to be taking out Bind against Fnatic. I mean, we heard even in the interview earlier from Benkai, like, yeah, we knew that our opponents were going to ban Bind. No one's brave enough to play us on that except for maybe Fnatic. That's known at an international level. So sure, we can say FPX made a good call by taking it out. But knowing that IceBox is in the pool, then it almost plays as like a free map for Fnatic. You look at it and you think, well, that's a win. And FPX will have to reverse sweep in. But they are starting this out looking, I mean, it was pistol, follow-up, and 7 straight rounds with no signs of slowing down.
Yeah, the scary thing as well is Althea, one of the number 1, number 2 players so far in EMEA. He's not on the board yet. Pressure was something that was mentioned, especially when even hearing just about the walkouts, but right now we're yet to see the demon, which we saw within regional play. I'm sure FPX are more than happy with that, but a faster take this time, Mitch. They're right into A.
Oh yes, upping the pace from Fnatic. Spikes around left side here after walling it off. Looks like they're going to be grabbing that plant through. It's secured. Nano for post-plant and falling back. They've got a Hunter's Fury to play with. Shock darts. Still a snake bite on Boaster, so a ton of post-plant utility and ability. But FPX have got themselves set up for this retake, and the Showstopper's going to garner a lot of space.
That Duck has already gone as well. Nightfall sent out to give them the information, sprinting through. Boaster, though, is going to come up with a double. It might just bring them back into this round. The spray is going to leave it into a 2 versus 2. Althea on the board, and maybe that's the fire he needed. 2 kills already in this round, and Ardis, he needs something quickly. Maybe just make it costly on the way out, at least reduce the economy Fnatic will have. But after a long hiatus, 7 rounds in a row, it will be Fnatic back on the board.
They took their time, Tom, that's for sure. And it's a very different strategy, a big pace change from them. And like I said, they had a ton, because of the way that they sped up the round, they didn't have to play as aggressive in some of these positions because they had such heavy post-plant utility still online. But Boaster in that corner, I almost imagine that's because of the amount of post-plant utility. You're like going in, you're showstoppering, you're seeing no one up close, no one behind the box. You're thinking, okay, well, they are actually just way back. This is Fnatic after all. They're going to just run the clock down, and then boom, guy on the side gets that double, and your round is, it's not even in jeopardy. It's over at that point.
Well, it seems like they might have taken a leaf out of the G2 book of playing IceBox. A site works, let's give it another go. Making their way in that direction. This time Ardis is going to be in position. They managed to avoid him in the previous round, which has been a rarity. He has been a terror. Already, though, Althea is going to step up. As I said, he had 0 kills in the first few rounds, already getting them an entry in this one. Back into a 4 versus 4. Alpha back on spot. Well, a retake needed.
They're trying to deal with Ardis through the wall. Those shots are pretty close as well. The lockdown It's going to buy them so much time unless FBX have something to deal with it. It doesn't look like they do. Push out of Artis. Of course, he can TP. He'll get out of there safely enough as well. So no players detained, but it is just about that clock. The amount of time ran down to Hunter's Fury watching the back.
Expect him. This is such a nasty position for Boaster. He's even more aggressive than the last round. It seems like he's looking to lead by example. The last 2 rounds, garnered 2 double kills. Still trying to spot Xiao, who's on his way out, and finally Boaster's going to close it. We were talking about the battle of Durka, the battle of Althea facing off against Artis. Maybe we forgot this man for once because he is having a game now.
We did again hear it from the analyst desk. This guy on LAN, when he's in a squad, he just hits another level. And Boaster saw it in the previous round, seen it here. The same stuff we wrote home about for Artis, the positional advantages he's getting, some of the duels he's online in. It's looked gorgeous. And Fnatic had so many things to fall back on there again, even if any of these things go wrong. Enzo won the fight behind. They had post-blind Hunter's Fury locked down. They still had a bunch of utility. I think a Nano may be online as well. So no issues in that round right there. And having 2 back-to-back rounds now where they go A, faster pace, get their post-plant, and have no trouble holding out against the retake, that is now putting FBX in a point where, yeah, they got to call a timeout and figure this out.
Well, that's the thing as well. Like, you don't want to have such a commanding half, 7 rounds in a row, and then it ends 7-5. Like, that would just be almost bittersweet, because normally, I'll be honest, in the first half, they do get blown out of the water. That's the way they normally goes on IceBox. But you don't want to give Fnatic a way back in. You never want to give, especially not on this map. If you can steal IceBox away, this series is wide open. This series even leans in FPX's favor, which is madness, considering they are still playing with that stand-in. Now, they've got a Viper's Pit going into this round on either side. That Hunter's Fury you mentioned a couple of rounds ago still sits. And, well, Durka has a tour de force if he needs it.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Coming into the last round, you're going to be throwing these things in. You're going to be using your tour de force, even just to have it in your back pocket.
Oh, why not?
Last couple seconds here on the clock as we see this final round of the half play out. It's going to be Cider right away popping this Viper's Pit. Now, we knew this has been online for a little while. Controlling the A site like this, though, that is an absolutely massive laneway lockdown. I'm not sure that Fnatic can be happy with letting him just sit there, but... Oh!
Okay.
Well, that'll do it, yep. That'll do it for you. Gonna kind of say it's hard to get value
in his back
and
pocket,
take it.
yeah.
Yep, but that'll work.
That's the thing, and now this A-site hold becomes a lot more dangerous. Because the whole point of having a second player there, you can watch if anybody tries to go over the top or tries to bypass the Viper's Pit and get onto the site. Well, that player's not there anymore. So they may even have to rotate a second player into position. You can see that they have actually managed to get themselves an extra orb. So Xiao, a single kill here, may actually be able to bring Angel back online.
And that pit from up top as well. Cider's content with holding it himself for now with that mid play out of Zipan, which means Zipan getting here a little earlier. Great prediction. Hitting him with the drone, following him all the way to the spawn and taking him down. Ult coming into play. It has made it all the way across, so it'll give them room to plant, and Xiao decaying as time goes on. Zipan, the sneaky play up behind. They have absolutely no idea. He didn't even see the second man. Clean as can be, the spike is theirs, and Zipan's on for 3.
20 seconds left as well for Enzo. Spike down in a horrific position, and Cider's reposition is sublime. He's just going to hold on to that cross. FPX, it looked like a round that was going into Fnatic's favor, but they're going to take this half 8-4, Mitch.
An impressive half. 7 in a row. They stopped Fnatic from getting that extra foothold at the end, so not really having a safety net for a pistol loss in next half. And some really strong resurgences from players on Fnatic in some of those rounds. Definitely some spots of hope, but I'm not sure, Tom. This is a much stronger start for FPX than I expected.
Well, we're looking like we're seeing a peak FPX right now. I'm curious to see what the desks thinks, because is this going to be the first loss on IceBox for Fnatic?
You know what, Tom and Mitch, it might just be FPX. They look great, but we have to just start right in with the elephant in the room. Althea, his debut on LAN, probably one of the more underwhelming ones we've seen out of the players we've been hyping up about.
Yeah, it has been a tough game for Alpha, to say the least. It was so long in this game. I believe the first 9 rounds not being able to crack a single kill. A massive decrease from what his expectations that have been set online. But it's kind of a question of, should this have been expected out of him? Because he has such a high bar set for him, and we have never even seen him in a LAN event. He is still such a new player, and there is so much pressure on him right now.
Yeah, I mean, he has yay-level expectations reservations heading into this event, and he's never played a LAN. So, and the crazy part too is I don't necessarily think that this is going to stick. He got, you know, 3 kills at the end of the half, started playing a little bit better, but I also think that the second half is going to be better for him too. Defensively, this is where this comp is better for his agent, right? And also better for the way that FPX was playing against him. They got so many good util combos on him, and it was the best implementation of Fade Raise that I've seen on this map that makes it really, really difficult to deal with.
Yeah, I was so incredibly impressed with how they were playing this composition. The way that they were setting up mid without a killjoy was excellent with that Fade, constantly re-clearing with those cats to hold on to the space. The Sage helping out in that regard as well. On top of that, just Zipan having excellent performance on the Raze. However, like you said, Fnatic is a lot better on their defense. The comp befits it, and I think we saw that moment from Alpha where the confidence looked like maybe just a little bit more was injected on in. It's going to be difficult, but there's certainly a chance to turn this around.
Yeah, after that round, Fnatic strung through it 2 more. I mean, it was a massive streak from FPX, and they take the last round too. This is going to be a little bit more difficult though, and Durka has to lead the way. He has to continue to perform as he did to start this game.
Yeah, and on top of that as well, Boaster just needs to keep with this performance. He had some massive clutches. He was keeping the team's mental in check, keeping them on top. There's still a chance for Fnatic in this one.
Yeah, oh, a Fnatic Copium here on the desk. What do you guys think, Mitch and Tom, as we head back into the second half?
Well, I'd say there's no way to predict this after giving 3 minutes to Doom Bros and Mini to discuss how this half is going to play out. The mind games are about to commence, Tom. Fnatic, they're behind, though, and I think they need this pistol.
Yeah, this is the moment where, again, you expect that duo on the Fnatic side to really come alive. Durka is going to be pushing the boundaries of the map the same way we saw from Artis, and this head-to-head could be everything. Maybe aiming a little bit lower there. Durka is going to find that open onto Artis, and while they're going to keep this control deep within B, a little fall off, but leaving Mystic behind, and still having that retake wall already set up on A if they need it.
The Artis Durka duels have certainly been fun to watch. Coming out relatively even, I feel like. I don't know what the numbers are directly, but
I'd lean it slightly Artis' way, just
yeah.
for that kill.
Well, here we go with 50 seconds on the clock. FPX are going to get that plant down. FPX under a little bit of pressure from the util, luckily avoiding those shock darts. If that was a little bit lower, of course, it's to catch him in the corner or behind the wall. So a good off-position plant from FPX.
That seems like they were more than ready. This could be big, though. Recon going through. If it's not broken in time, they'll have pretty much all the information hiding underneath. They've been spotted. A little bit of damage done, and Xiao comes out on top, but they don't spot Enzo. He is eventually cleared, though. Back into a 2v2 scenario. Mystic, Alfia already finding one wall, trying to section him off. And while Alfia, what was it, 3 kills in the first half? I think he might be back.
Yep, he's just doubled up right here. I mean, the wind in his sails and the pistol round in Fnatic's back pocket. Exactly what they needed to make up for a pretty abysmal first half. This is their map pick. This is somewhere I expected to see a decent attack out of them, and it barely scraped by with 4 rounds on the pistol. Let's hope that's not the same this time around, Tom. It's rare you see a team win both pistols and still be this far behind.
Yeah, it's almost the unfortunate truth of FPX is they could have basically 10-2'd that half if it wasn't for the fact that they lost the pistol, and now that lifeline garnered up by the side of Fnatic. Going to be a bit of an investment here for FPX. Some Sheriffs, we've seen how deadly those can be. Headhunter as well for Artis, and he's going straight for the mid-fight. Alfia, he's already gone in this round. An instant start. And while we mentioned the battle of these chambers being ever fierce, but Alfia, unfortunately, has bitten the bullet this time.
Caught in the crossfire a bit. I'm not surprised Artis is going out for those opening duels with the success that he's had so far in this game. His chamber's certainly looking on point, and I guess a point to prove after the previous round. Mid opened, and obviously you're seeing the alarm bot there, but it's not covering anything with Alpha. You're dead. It's a big, big gap in the info game for Fnatic, and it's being made up for pretty much by Durka in this incredibly aggressive position, sitting up on top of pipes, and it was looking good for a while because, well, FPX were looking at the B side. There was a lot of movement around there, but now, Tom, things are coming back. So Durka is going to get this challenge. He's got a TP to get out. Enzo, in fact, not going to be the first point of contact. It's Mystic. But it comes down to Durka. If they clear him, oh no, look, the rotates are coming through. There's 2 players. That's going to be the distraction. I doubt they even check.
30 seconds.
Oh my god, he goes up and actually just about manages to get away. 25 seconds left on the clock, and Mystic just playing on the edge. The second they run through, it's all too easy, trying to deny the player stealing the orb as well. But already this round is looking like it might be over. They need a couple of kills here, and they need it fast. Artist, though, already manages to find one. I think that's Headhuntable. It's gone for Durka, but I think his teammate might have dropped a weapon after he died, and that'll be enough for Fnatic. Still shaky, but it's a 6th.
Yeah, it's some good picks, though, coming out of Artis, mid-fight with a Headhunter. Those are things that, in this game, with these comps, you have to write off. You have to say, yeah, sometimes the dude is going to run with a free gun on an eco and headshot me across the map. You know, it's an even fight. Oh, sorry. Yeah, the 100 credits it cost him to win a fight against 3,900 minimum. That's hardware and a weapon, like shields and a weapon. This guy's getting wrecked by 100 credits.
He just got a good deal.
You have to sit back and accept that, yeah, you will just lose. Like, this is RNG. It's going outside and getting hit by a bus. It happens sometimes. You kind of count
for the price of one.
Oh, that was getting a little bit close with the nade C's, but it hasn't come in on time, so orb is obtained. Fnatic are out of there. Still, again, looking with what they're playing, you're not imagining that they're going to put up too much of a fight. Really, it's about FPX being cautious, keeping range, and not knee-jerk reacting into a position.
Yeah, I guess the main threat will be Durka and Enzo. Basically the double Guardians that we have in play, although one of them is invisible and sits in his pocket. The thing is, though, a slow take, not really any aggression, and especially in a round like this, you kind of expect that. It's the same position held by Durka, but other than that, the rest of the team are just almost waiting, gambling on mid. With the amount of utility already thrown in, you can see the likelihood is there's going to be a little bit of Viper utility just to try and slow them down.
Oh, crossing over here from Boaster. He's got support. 3 players on the rotate to help out. They're stacking up on B. They're calling the gamble. It's what you do when you got a weaker buy, and, well, the jump not quite going to lead to any success. Wall up, plant.
Oh, this wall isn't necessarily going to defend for it, but they go a little bit deeper. Oh, good decision is broken, but they can't quite get rid of Xiao. In fact, he is looking like he's going to escape this one eventually. Durka puts him in the grave. 1 kill already, and almost trying to bait them in. Alpha has found another. This is starting to get pretty dangerous as Mystic kills off one more. Only 2 players remain, make it 1. Cider left to try and hold on to this, and they know exactly where he is. He will land the first shot, and Durka's just sticking it halfway already, and he will have to TP back, but he has time to play with, knowing roughly where Cider's going to be. Tries to bait him in, but it's the 4K and Red Bull clutch coming through from the Dane.
That is a necessary one for him as well. He was really left in a bad position. And after a rough enough game yesterday, I'm glad to see Cider showing up like this. It's been phenomenal to watch. And honestly, FPX at the moment, you can see the work over the last couple of hours.
Oh.
Yeah, well, you can't quite trace the recon.
Sorry,
trace the recon, it's okay. Saw it.
He played this really well, though. And an important clutch, because that round could have been the turning point. That would have been 8-7 going into a bye for Fnatic. Instead, well, they're still a few rounds behind, but just look at the bye. It is not pretty on the side of FPX.
Yeah, Fnatic are getting a major benefit for the previous round. Again, we're going to see this out of the attack side. The C's nade. Fnatic avoid it. Durka continues his aggression. Recon going up and over. Durka going to try to follow up and grab a head on the back of it. And he's faced contact, but he's not coming back just yet. Look how much utility he's making these guys burn up now just to try and clear some of these positions.
Yeah, almost trying to keep him in position, try and catch him out while aggressive. But, well, he hasn't been forced to TP, he hasn't even been forced to move. He just still sat this far forward, and it means that they can almost play a gamble elsewhere on the map.
You've also got the trap outside B, so it's like he doesn't want to go aggressive and die, because that's both wings of the map. Extremity is gone in terms of information. But single-handedly right now, he's allowing this B retake setup, which in turn allows for a much heavier mid presence out of Fnatic. But there is a lot of vision blocking utility for FPX. They're going to run right under the tube with the wall.
Oh, do they check for Alfia? This is such a nasty angle. Nice shot from Zipan, though. The cross being held by Mystic, but they do make it past. Enzo once again takes this battle versus Zipan. And this time will be able to escape. 20 seconds for them to now make it onto the site. yet to really get into a position where they can plant. In fact, Mystic, he's going over the top. This is such an obscure angle to be fighting so late in the round. Angel completely caught off, and there's not really a safe place to plant. They have to go for something here. 5 seconds left as they go, and the spike's dropped. It's already done. FPX, it all falls apart from some crazy plays out of Fnatic. I can't believe Mystic just did what he did.
It was unbelievable. Yeah, he sees a wall and he raises it a wall, goes up on top, catches them off. And
I thought Jing played earlier today.
You're seeing it right here, right now. And it was necessary, right? Look at FPX. They panic in that moment. They're trying to adapt to players on every angle. They know they need to plant, but no safe ground. No control. They couldn't at any point establish a front lines. These guys were surrounded in that whole fight. And well, it's hard to organize that kind of a hold. FPX going to take a moment now to get themselves organized. They don't want to let Fnatic right back into this one. They are only 2 rounds behind on the defense of their own map pick. Fnatic are definitely not out of this just yet.
No, anything but. And especially with the way that we've already seen the amount of map control they've been able to take, I feel like now FPX have to start challenging for that. You can't allow them to have a deep trap on B and Durka deep on A, fighting you. And that's the thing. They used a lot of utility, and he just kind of stood there and went, cool. Are you going to do anything, though?
Are you going to push?
You're gonna fight me? No? All right, I'll just chill. And that's the thing. He even was one of the players rotating in late at the end to hold off the cross. It seemed like Fnatic basically had them trapped like a wild animal. It was just like they're trying to break out of a cage that I didn't even think they knew they were in.
It's a big difference on the previous half. I think FPX now starting to see, at least in that round, some of the issues that can come on the attack once Fnatic are given that free reign. Like we had said, when Fnatic were on the attack, FPX, they took it slow, they kept their control, and it never really felt like they were forced to adapt or put onto that back foot. I'll say forced into an adaptation that they were not already expecting to have to make. They were never lost. But right there, hit a little bit of a brick wall. Now, when Fnatic did that, what got them out of the trouble was straight A rushes. Full control, full pace, and it looks like FPX, well, they're taking at least a page out of that book, maybe not the entirety of it, but they're going to look for a very direct strategy this time around.
Yeah, this is Artist buying a rifle, knowing he has Tour de Force in the next round. Interestingly, Durka, I think, has actually popped his while having a rifle, so Operator in on one side, not so much on the other. Information is there, though. They know exactly where these players are. Artist is almost willing them into a peak. Like, this is a rifle he can afford to lose, afford to risk. He wants to fight because the rest of the weaponry they have is just not enough.
Artist really works on those mind games, man. It's just standing there going, okay, come on, peek me. You want to peek me? You want to fight me? Go ahead. I'll take it. The confidence that he has that he'll win them if they overextend like that. But Fnatic are not doing that just now. They're sitting back. They've even used up their wall, got a few shots out of Artist. Know the rifle's close. They know not to mess with it. FPX will look elsewhere, though. It's the B site that's now under threat. Plenty of players coming. Durka misses the first shot. Has that rifle as a backup, as you said, Tom. Tour de Force not his only weapon, so he can still deal with numbers when they come his way. That's why he's staying aggressive.
Oh, they're going back.
Splitting through, it seems like we've got every strategy. They're pushing every angle.
Yeah, all the steps are going to be heard by Enzo. The rest of the players actually don't have the weaponry really to fight. Oh, that's not the greatest timing in the world. The thing that really hurts me is that he actually almost got the kill there.
Yep, 20 HP left. I know the heal's going to come through to reset that. Fnatic, it's not an easy retake, but it is only pistols that they're up against. And they've got a res with Enzo back online. Angel's going to try to get the jump. Good kill at least. Reveal through.
Last player standing.
They know where he is. Oh, hold on!
Okay.
How was he able to get the second? Just a little lapse in communication there, and by the time they realized, he was already adjusting.
Yeah, a little bit of a shaky around. Luckily for Fnatic, they kind of have enough cash that it's not going to cause them too much of an issue. They made things very costly over the last couple of rounds, but it's definitely not the prettiest of scenarios for them. And now you look at the round that FPX are coming in with, they've got 4 of their ultimates. They saved the Tour de Force ready for this round, so I expect there to be a challenge coming out from Artist, maybe towards that B site where Durka has been fighting. But then you've also got a Showstopper, a Viper's Pit as well. You can Showstopper to clear the position, and then you can have the Viper's Pit to hold on to it. And then that's before you even talk about Nightfall, which can give you all the information as well. There's a lot for FPX to play with, and if they win this round, Fnatic's money's in the dirt.
I'll tell you the big difference, though, not playing that Sova now for FPX if they get on a site. Well, what's going to be there to deal with a lockdown, pushing them out of a Viper's Pit? seizing the control up against them.
I guess Zipan, Snade.
That's the thing, right? You've got not the best utility belts on these players to deal with that, so your lockdown here actually is a ton of value. It's mostly going to be direct faces that are taking it down.
But it almost looks like this is a pure retake setup once again from Fnatic. Again, nothing really forcing Durka back, so he's got that control. They're very happy to battle in for mid and just make sure there can't be any flanks anywhere. And you can see FPX are basically like selling this almost fake towards that B site, but no one's moved. Like, they're still playing heavy mid. You've still got Durka deep, which is enough. If he gets a kill, they still have that lockdown, as you mentioned, for the retake. So as long as he gets something here for Fnatic, which I think is a fair gamble, I'm not liking the look of this for FPX.
Oh, that noise on A is dragging a lot of them this way. The ult used up top. Durka still gets out with one. I think he got hit by the ult twice. And now he's set back up for more. Can't hear a thing, but he can still see. And with 2 kills under his belt, he has slowed them down significantly. A tag, and then another. I mean, FPX ain't getting near a side in this one.
No, time now becoming an issue as well. Xiao just hoping to make things as costly as possible. Wall down, it's going to get broken almost instantaneously. It does land the shot, but it doesn't even matter. It's just going to try and bait someone in and do some extra economy damage, but it's not the case. Still, FPX struggle to deal with Durka. That's the thing. There are not many players in that scenario who goes, I've just been hit by an ult that reduces my HP by half. I should jump up and shoot at them.
It's a good play. Yep.
30 seconds left.
He gets a second one here. And just for anybody wondering, he still couldn't hear anything while he was doing that.
You see, the thing is, in that situation, I feel like he just makes the perfect call. If he stands there and does nothing, they know that he's there. They're going, you know, they'll read that information. As the seconds go on, the deduction comes in, they're swinging, he can't see anything. It could be a fake and he wouldn't even know. Instead, he's like, I know you're probably going to push while this is going through. A cheeky reveal. And that's caught Enzo below, but not Durka. He was safe enough. Now Prowler's not going to see him either. He's got the jump for one of these duels, and there it is, Artist down.
That's the rifle as well. He had a hero rifle invested into this round. Prowler will at least get a little bit of information. The wall is going to be put in, but again, it's instantly broken. Durka
Spike down
on a tear once more. Second kill of the round, spike down on the ground, the full rotation coming through. They're watching me, but there's no one there. It's very direct. Oh, chance for Zipan, but nothing found.
They might be able to get this plant down by the looks of things, but holding on afterwards is a different story. Showstopper not to land a kill, and the ult to push them right off the site into Boaster's waiting arms. You have a choice now of becoming detained or becoming dead. And it looks like Angel chose the latter.
Well, he actually chose standard the snake bite and hope that he doesn't believe anyone's there. Hope that randomly Boaster just has his monitor and sound turn off. If that had happened, maybe he survived.
Yeah, good chance.
Prime Gaming flawless though. And there was a showstopper invested into that round and a hero rifle for Artist. So they made that look very, very easy. Again, Durka now top of the board. I think he was even going into the last half. I genuinely believe he's died like maybe 3 times in this half.
Yeah, you might be spot on there. And we heard it from the analyst desk about even the likes of Alfia being able to have a new lease of life coming into this half on that defensive side, and the comfort levels seem to just be exponentially improving on the Fnatic side. Early aggression by Zipan, that seems to have been heard. Boaster reacted to it almost immediately. I'm not sure if he would have heard the blast pack initially, but certainly the player swinging through the air. He's going to fall back, and we've seen this retake setup a couple of times. I think he normally has the orb down. Does he not have it down this round? Oh, he does, slightly in front. Okay.
Okay, well, at least now they know that that spot has been taken, same as before. Artist is going to go above, finds the kill, but it is eventually traded. Still pretty worthwhile. That will give them an opportunity to get in on the plant, and the rotation's still not really there just yet from the likes of Fnatic. Even still, though, it seems like FPX are very wary, and that poison orb is actually causing them a lot of problems because they can't cross until it's gone.
Even with this pit down, Boaster has a counter pit to play with, but past that, still has his orb, and if he can get a snake bite onto it, he should be in a good enough position, but snake bites are gone now. Both have been used up to delay. Here's the counter pit to play with. Good luck planting inside of that. I think we might even be seeing FPX considering a deeper push around the pits.
30 seconds left.
Cider managed to dodge the drone just
the
slightly.
timing.
Zipan, he should have heard the steps. It doesn't matter though. Durka just winning the fight. Peek out, good trade from Xiao. Turns it into a 3 versus 3, but even still, they haven't managed to get that plant down yet. Swing, not gonna work out. But they need to go for something here. Plant denial is all that's really gonna be attempted. Boaster, he's dropped it. Wall up on the other side, it's left to Mystic. And they need to get this plant down. They want to get the kill, but it's denied again! FPX, they just keep running out of time, and the kill's too late by a literal split second. Fnatic will get their 11th.
That wall also canceled the plant. It
walled them
literally walled the player up off planting, out into the open, and then got sprayed down.
They're such nerds.
That's just fantastic.
Do you know what's crazy? What, they must have had the entry in that round in like 20 seconds and had the sight the whole time. Look how much it's delayed. And then this Red Bull clutch, wall up in the air, just to spam through to deny them at the end. It is grotesque and more so infuriating for FPX. Because as I said, they had the control of that site for a very long time. They just never really had control.
7-2 in the lead, lost both pistols as well. FPX, they've had advantages, they've had disadvantages, but to sit here at 11-9 has got to be astounding to them. This comeback from Fnatic definitely proving that this is a map that they can pick, that they can choose. And
I like that. Maybe I shouldn't go any further than this.
But it was after he'd like peeked 3 more times and seen no one. He's like, okay.
All right.
So now he's gone back out for a peek.
I remember what Minnie said. Play like the Vice.
Nice and slow.
Especially in, you know, in Copenhagen of all places. Certainly right. Enzo's got his back holding onto the cross, and Durka ready and waiting. Oh, eventually clears him, and he does have to move back out of there for the second time in the round.
Drone with a ton of info. All 3 spotted by that. I mean, Xiao's got to get some huge value with this rifle. Rest of the team pretty much waiting for his lead on this Angel, initiating a bit. The swing isn't going to find anything. Both dealt with. 12 on the board for Fnatic now. Flawless as this half essentially has been.
Well, that's the thing. So Prime Gaming flawless here. Bear in mind, they've only won 1 round, right? Do you remember what that round was?
No.
It was the 4K out from Cider when they were playing up against the
Oh,
bonus round of Fnatic.
okay. Yeah.
That's the only round they won, and they almost lost it, and
yep.
it was mostly versus pistols. Other than that, the closest round was a minute ago where they died in a Viper's pit.
So stand-in won them around this half, and other than that, it has been
Yeah, that makes it a bit more bleak, doesn't it? 12-9. Again, they're going to try and battle a bit more for this B-site control. I think the B-site's definitely been a little bit more open for business. They at least got close to the site when it came to B. On the A site, they've been demolished, facing into Durka every single time. Operator in for Artis. He's had a good match, but they're going to need him again.
Another time delay coming through. In fact, the orb not even going to go up this time around. The snake bite just ran through, and a safe plant secured. Just about.
Guys, I got the plant down. I'm safe-ish.
I cannot move, but I have planted it. Now, they haven't seen anyone run up there, and they used a nano swarm on it. I almost find it unlikely that they think he's here at this point. With the drone having seen it, and now they're holding it, they're moving up, starting to close the distance. 2 back yellow. They haven't cleared the corner at all, and there it is. Xiao able to grant massive value to his team. Is he going to stick around here? Well, it doesn't matter. Fnatic are not going to stick around. They're running away.
Oh, Alpha almost caught on the way out. Going to peek back in with the operator. We'll get rid of Xiao, but an adaptation for FPX. I think, honestly, in that round, just getting the plant down was something. They've been denied so regularly that trying to get the ideal position of where they want to plant, it just becomes irrelevant. And while Xiao, we've talked about him being clutch all the way through this tournament, that was the play that got them their first round other than against the bonus.
Well, that's exactly it for this man. Sitting in 19 on himself and Artis. They have been putting in the work. And just 2 more rounds needed, but man, this half has been so tough to find the value on. Faster play on B site. They get themselves a lot of value there. But now look at the adaptation from Fnatic. Tour de force right away. 2 players up close. Prowler going to spot 1. That's Mystic taking a little bit of a nightmare situation. But Durka, well, he's dreaming up top, taking down Zipan and giving them the advantage that they need. A res online to play with in this round as well if things get dicey for Fnatic. And Durka is not even finished peeking.
Oh, he's going to catch out Angel. You can see he's even waiting for it, and then Mystic walls back up and gets down another. This defensive side has been nigh on flawless from Fnatic. Now Xiao may have that res, but getting a place even to use it, I think he'd just have to use it to sacrifice his team. And honestly, at this point, if it's a trade onto Durka, that might be worth it.
Oh, Alpha has got the position locked down as well. They know that Cider's there. I'm pretty sure they saw Xiao's barrel moments ago as he attempted a res or tried to see how close he was. And now that mid position's completely locked down. Cider caught Mystic. Okay, a good kill to start with and some harassment onto Boaster, but still locking it down as Durka. And with the back covered by Alpha, there's practically no way out of here except facing them. And, well, that hasn't worked for them so far, Tom, and it certainly won't work to close this out. 13-10 for Fnatic. They'll take the win here on their own map pick.